Hey y'all, welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jared Paul, and today we're going to get to my lemon scented gum tree. I have been leaving it for a couple years, hoping that it would transform from the ugliest tree I have to something better, but it really hasn't. It's only gotten worse with time. So I checked out some of Bonsai Bloke's footage and recommendations, did a little research, and I let it grow, thinking, you know, it works for everybody else, it'll work for me. But it just got really long and leggy. There's no growth down beneath. So we're going to get creative tonight. Either we're going to wire this bad boy up and it's going to be this huge lemon scented gum tree of mine, or we're going to really hack it back, do some Hail Mary cuts, and hope for the best. So that's what's coming up on today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. Alright, so here it is. I was not lying, right? So essentially I have 3 branches coming out of... It's taken a while to even get to nub status. It was just like, I don't know, it looked like a bulbous root for the longest time. And I asked Bloke a question a couple years back about it. And not to mention I'm growing it in a terrible climate for really warm trees. But he said just let it grow. Definitely don't prune it when it's not like in a growing phase. When it's dormant, they don't like that. There'll be a lot of dieback, and I experienced that. I tried with all my might. This is 5 years old, the first few, to try to get some ramification going, to try to get maybe one trunk line started. But anyways, here it is. Someone along the lines told me the classification of the base of this, and I'm not sure if it's unique to this species or what, and I honestly, it was so long ago I can't remember the name of it really or what he said. But here's my see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, and it's appropriately in this pot because I try not to talk as much trash about it as I think about. So this rock was just serving to kind of keep it upright. There was one of these branches just growing along the ground line, and it didn't work for me. So you see really long branches, some nice healthy growth and some new growth. The smell's incredible. Anytime the leaves would break off on the bottom, I would just crumple them up in my hand, rub them in my beard. That was my cologne for the day. But I really want this to be something. So I hadn't thought of it before, but if I have this long leggy start and they're still pretty pliable, maybe I could do some sort of a like weaving wire them into a weave some type. I might have to get rid of this inner branch here and then kind of weave all 3 together, maybe some separate parts. It would be completely atypical, not a real bonsai design per se, but I got to do something. So I'm looking here, and I don't know. There's one active bud right here that's coming out, but of course it's at the crotch of this branch coming out here, and that's really about it. Starting to get some fine red hairs on the new growth, which is interesting. I'm assuming that's some sort of a layer of protection. So I took this outside once it was no longer 50 degrees, below 50 degrees Fahrenheit at night, or close to that. Sustained 50 degrees, no longer. So it's outside. It seemed to do fine with it. Got a little color, reddish color to the leaves, but they didn't fry or anything like that. And appropriately so, because it's native to a much hotter climate with longer days. So what I'm gonna do, since I'm still very new with the wiring, is I'm gonna cut some wire. I think I'm gonna choose the 3mm. You know, it might be some overkill towards the top. I think in order to get these bottom ones to be agreeable, we're going to need a thicker wire. So I've got the 3 mil. I have some, I think 2 and 1.5 in here. We'll see if I use that towards the end. So since I'm so new to this, and wire can be a finicky process, I'm going to throw it on a hyperlapse, put on some good tunes, and then we'll come back afterwards and take a look. Alright, so that was a total disaster. Too thick a wire, too much physical force, the wrong time, the wrong amount of pressure. I broke 2 off. The good news is it was above where I wanted them to kind of twist through each other and then come back. So if I could get some new growth to kick off here, I'll bring it up a little bit and then weep it out this way, and then same with this. I'll bring it up a little bit and then let it weep out. And maybe if I just get a whole bunch kicking back, I will undo the wire and take a normal approach. But this is going to be, I guess, in my ornamental experiment division, and the monkeys continue. I can't believe what the hell I did. So, I mean, it could end up pretty cool. I wish I didn't break those 2 tops, because then I'd at least have 1, 2, and 3 with a little bit going on. It would make it look like a lot more sense than it does, but here we are, people. So there is that base I was telling you about. Really, really weird. And this is 5 years. I mean, maybe 3 or 4 prunings in 5 years. 1 or 2 repots. So it doesn't react like any tree I've ever had. But it is what it is. So another one down off the checklist. And I'll score that one like a 6.2 out of 10. This way I'm still passing, but not my best. A learning lesson for sure. So if you don't have any lemon scented gums, maybe you don't want them now. But they smell lovely. And for better videos, check out Bloke down in Australia, and I'm sure other Australians have much better lemon scented gums. But hopefully in 5 to 10 years it becomes something for me. So I'm Jared Paul, and for my family, yours, cheers.